for nearly 500 years, the narrative surrounding Jane Seymour has been steeped in myth and sanitization, presenting a comforting fairy tale of her gentle demise following the birth of Henry VIII's much-desired son. The reality, however, is far more harrowing. Imagine this. Hampton Court Palace, October 1537. Jane, just 29 years old, finds herself in the agonizing throes of labor, 12 days deep in a dark and unrelenting struggle. In an era when performing surgery on a living woman was akin to signing her death warrant, Jane lingered for nearly 2 weeks. Allowing subsequent storytellers to focus on Henry's supposed choice, rather than confrontable truth that even a young woman surrounded by England's top physicians could fall victim to the perils of childbirth. The truth is not a quick incision, but a long, tormenting descent into illness. Jane's last days were not defined by a dramatic operation, but by an invisible malady taking hold of her body, a relentless infection that no one could comprehend. This is where the myth ends and the horrific reality begins. Why did this myth persist for so long? It provided a scapegoat. According to Sander, Henry chose the infant without hesitation, commanding his doctors to cut Jane wide open. This vivid account, while damning, was completely unverifiable. Its truth was irrelevant, it only needed to be useful. The story spread through ballads, oral traditions, and histories penned by those who were far removed from the events at Hampton Court. The most notable version, a folk song titled "The Death of Queen Jane," painted a heart-wrenching tableau. Jane pleading for the knife, Henry agreeing coldly, the infant wrested from her dying form. Yet the twisted nature of this lie reveals its cruelty. A swift death on the operating table may have been a mercy compared to the prolonged suffering Jane experienced. The Caesarean myth rendered her a passive victim of a single man's choice. Tapestries adorned the walls, candles stood ready, and prayers were scheduled in every church across London. Jane entered her confinement chamber in early September, retreating from public life as royal custom dictated. Everything was orchestrated, controlled, and ceremoniously awaited. Then the pain began. October 9th marked the start of Jane's labor, which almost immediately felt off. The baby was not positioned correctly. Hours dragged on 24, then another day, followed by another night. By dawn on October 10th, Jane had endured over 24 hours of labor with no resolution in sight. Correspondents flew to foreign courts, nobility sent extravagant gifts, and Henry, now a legitimate father, displayed unusually high spirits. The concept of infection was non-existent. They might have attributed her decline to bad air or divine punishment. Common midwives, possessing practical wisdom handed down through generations, would have grasped the signs of retained tissue. However, royal births were deemed too precious to leave in the hands of women. Male physicians, well-versed in classical theories and armed with academic credentials, took charge, instead their authority trumping practical skill. They had never delivered a child themselves, yet their participation was seen as elevating the event to a level befitting royalty. Thus, the birth of Edward, after 30 hours of labor, became a matter of state importance for which the physicians focused solely on the newborn. The prince was healthy and breathing well, duty fulfilled. Jane, utterly exhausted, was expected to recover naturally. They verified that the placenta had been delivered, but their examination was cursory and inadequate. and physicians in the cautious language of the court as a natural laxative effect, a violent, uncontrollable reaction. For a woman already weakened by significant labor and blood loss, this was devastating. Initially, the doctors attempted to console themselves. Digestive troubles following childbirth were not uncommon. Perhaps something she had eaten disagreed with her, or her body was merely adjusting after delivery's trauma. They provided countermeasures, tweaked her diet, and awaited improvement. For a few hours, it seemed their efforts worked. Early evening heralded a brief respite, and she appeared to improve. But as night fell, her situation took a drastic turn for the worse. Jane's chaplain wrote urgently to Thomas Cromwell, his concern barely concealed. All this night she had been very sick. The gravity of her suffering frightened everyone present. Mirroring the infection's advance, creeping beyond its original confines and into her bloodstream, her body, already in a weakened state, began to falter. The diarrhea was not the problem. It was merely a symptom of her organs beginning to fail under the relentless siege of sepsis. Yet, the doctors remained oblivious, fixating solely on superficial signs: digestive troubles, weakness, fever. They treated the symptoms they could see, adjusting her diet, prescribing tonics, ensuring she remained warm, all the while ignorant of the unseen enemy manifesting within her veins. Jane likely sensed before anyone that something was gravely amiss. An ominous exhaustion overshadowed her, one that eluded the relief that sleep should provide. Her skin radiated heat. Her thoughts began to dull. Experienced midwives guided mothers, managed challenges, and distilled knowledge through countless births over generations. They recognized the stages of delivery and the urgency of postpartum expulsion of tissue. Yet royal births, deemed too significant for the common touch, shifted the paradigm, placing male physicians in charge due to their academic qualifications over practical experience. This lapse overshadowed a methodical approach, as inexperienced men arrived to preside over births without having the hands-on skills that could potentially save her life. As the well-being of the infant assumed priority, Jane, despite being weak and exhausted, was expected to recover naturally.